What's going on, everybody? This has been a long time in coming. So, if any of you who both follow me and Wayne have wondered why this hasn't happened, that's just how it goes on YouTube sometimes. It's not a personal thing at all. This has been a long time in coming for me. For any of you who follow Wayne Breezy or don't, or are going to join this either now or after the stream, let's help get him to 3,000 subs. For all you know, for all of you who don't know, he lost his channel or it was hacked about, I don't know, what, 4 months ago?
Yeah,
October.
October.
And I didn't realize this. I forgot. I'm so focused sometimes on my complaining and griping about things, looking, oh, I'm almost, and then I look, and that was the situation. I'm like, okay, stop being selfish, and now let's think about somebody else. So whenever you join this, whenever you see this, please go subscribe to Wayne Breezy's channel. The effervescent, I said I wasn't going to use it, but he's like super effervescent. Very, very likable, very, very knowledgeable. I was listening to you and you and Chapman chop it up about the draft or players, and I was just like, man, I am so underworking this situation. So
Never.
But the draft necessarily isn't my baby like it is some people. Some people really like doing it. I like the after part when we draft people and then I research them.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, this guy will be good, or oh, I don't know about this guy. But I figure we get to whatever just dropped, the news that just dropped about an hour ago or so, the dates.
Yeah.
49ers dates. We got April 17th is the first day of the off-season workout program. I would assume that's just like, I don't even know who would be there. Like, is it?
It's probably going to be a lot of the, I would expect like Javon Kinlaw be there. Trey Lance will be there. Like a lot of the players that were like, recovering from injury, they'll be there getting their workout. Because a lot of the star-studded players have their own off-season private workouts. Like Debo probably be in Miami somewhere. So yeah, but those guys will be there. I do believe they'll be there.
Then we got May 22nd through 23rd. That would be like the first time the main roster guys and rookies would be there, right?
Yes.
Because I know the rookies, that's the one. What's the one set of dates they didn't put down?
Well, the rookie minicamp. So I'm trying to get the dates pulled up in front of me. Hold on one second. So the rookie minicamp is something a little bit different, and I'm surprised that they didn't put that in there. But I think it's because of when Kyle's going to schedule the OTAs, because he has a certain amount of weeks that he can schedule the OTAs, if I'm not mistaken. May is just going to be a good date for the San Francisco 49ers, because we now get to see our players get back together for the first time.
That's when it starts. When I see dates, and I don't know whoever in the chat is here right now, I'm clicked over on the subject bar here.
The rookies will be at that April 17th date. Well, no, they won't be at that April 17th date. They won't even be here yet. So
I'm looking forward to it. To me, it's just that football is actually starting to officially turn the leaf to the new league year.
Exactly. So your off-season workouts, your rookies will be there. That is part of rookie mini camp. Now that I think about it, they just didn't label it that.
And then we got, let's see, you got May 20. No, we already touched that. May 25th. That's kind of connected to the May 22nd to 23rd.
Yep, it's all connected.
Yeah. And then the big one for me is the June mini camp, the 13th through the 15th.
Correct.
That to me is where I want to see Trey Lance start to, if he's going to take this job this year. I listen. I love Brock Purdy to death, and if we needed to win a game tomorrow, I would go with him, just because I don't know, it's just like this weird calmness, confidence thing. But in my mind, Trey Lance, if he wins this job outright and keeps it, I'm not mad, because I want us to win, and I don't. It's regardless of who is the quarterback, as long as he's the best choice. And I feel like he hasn't been given that shot yet.
Correct.
And man, when he got hurt last year, that really sucked for a lot of reasons.
Oh yeah.
It just all the people who have all the narratives and stuff that want to go with he's bust, he's not ready, but then at the same time they want to say that Purdy after 7 or 8 games is the future. It's like, how can you say one with the other one right beside it, when you could say that after 4 games someone's not going to be the future, but after 7 games, yeah, he's the guy. He's Joe Montana. He's part 2. I hate that. So he's getting another offseason to do this. We probably won't see Purdy till what? freaking into September.
I mean, as far as I don't even think Purdy
On field
plays.
stuff.
Yeah.
You don't think he plays for a while?
Yeah, I think the way the whole Brock Purdy situation is, and this is why we signed a quarterback like Sam Darnold, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you go out, you get another young kid, 25 years old, you bring him in here, former first round pick. He has really good tangible things he can do, and he needs to work on certain things. And so why not bring him into camp, have the competition going? He can get the ball down the field. We know what Sam Darnold can do. So this is good. And this allows the 49ers to take their time with a Brock Purdy. So just in case Brock wants to play football. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I love it. He's a freaking warrior.
He is a
And
warrior.
so at the end of the day, the 49ers will probably be a little more precautious with him coming off the injury. Like, he has to really, if I'm Kyle Shanahan, I'm putting Brock Purdy through a rigorous test, like series of tests, right? Rigorous. I mean rigorous, to where his arm gonna fall off, because I need to know if he can withstand all the throws, this type and the third, with his elbow surgery. So I think they're going to take their time with Brock, which is the right thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't be surprised, Aaron, if he starts on the PUP. You've probably heard that before.
Yep.
And that'll allow the 49ers just 4 more weeks for him to get himself right. And then they'll probably put him on the active roster. Trey Lance will be doing well. You won't necessarily need Brock Purdy at the moment. And then Sam Darnold will be the backup. So that's my order as of right now. Now, if Brock Purdy wasn't injured, it would be totally different. I think they would go Brock, Trey, and Sam Darnold wouldn't even be on this team.
Right. No, I never thought of, there's a lot of people that made a lot of stink about the the signing of Darnold. Like we're supposed to go spend $15 million on a quarterback to back up. Like, people are so ridiculous. Like, every free agent, we have to sign them. Everybody who's the best player out there. Why aren't the Niners making a move? I'm like, dude, we don't live in Madden. You can't do that, right? And you're right. I never thought about that with Darnold per se.
Yeah.
But he wanted to be here, and he wanted to work with Kyle. He thought Kyle would get the best out of him. So that's exactly the right attitude.
And he gets Brian Greasy, right? So
right.
Look what Brian did.
I'm so glad they brought him back this year.
I've been. Look, when we first got him, people were like, Breezy, that's a Michigan guy. What are your thoughts? I'm like, yo, he was a damn great quarterback at Michigan. And the one thing I know he knows how to do is play quarterback. It might not have translated well in the NFL, but that doesn't mean his mind left.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Some people still have the mind. They just can't match the physicality of the game to the mental of the game. His mind is there, and look at him. He's proven to become a coach. Now everybody's like, please come back, because he made Jimmy Garoppolo look good.
Right.
And that was probably some of the reason why Brock Purdy was looking good, right? That's why I
think he has a lot to do with both of them, or all three of them. Dude, I was low-key worried about him in the offseason, and Kasarik, and Adam Peters. There was like the 3 guys. I'm like, we can't lose any of these dudes, right?
It's weird that you said that, because I don't see Kasarik going anywhere. I think Adam Peters, whatever they titled him, he must be getting overpaid, because he seems content where he is with the 49ers. He's the assistant general manager. I think he's pretty much cool with that. That doesn't mean he's not going to want to leave, but maybe they know stuff we don't know. Like, maybe John Lynch will take a different position at some point in time.
Everybody's president or something.
Yeah, like he'll graduate. Hey, remember? All right, help me out.
Okay.
Eddie DeBartolo, Carmen Policy. DeBartolo was the owner, right?
Right.
At the time. What the hell was Carmen Policy? He wasn't the GM, was he?
And I know they had John McVay in there too.
They had John McVay. Yeah, he was a GM.
What was Carmen Policy?
That's why I'm asking.
Was he president?
That's why I'm asking the question. That's the only reason why I'm asking this question.
Because he was the one that stopped him. He was the one that stopped the. They were going to fire after the 1987 playoff loss to the Vikings, where the Niners are the number 1 seed.
Yep.
DeBartolo was going to go fire Walsh, like, on the spot.
Yep, on the spot.
And Carmen Policy was like, probably shouldn't do that.
So what was Carmen? I see Fernando saying the owner, but I thought DeBartolo was the owner.
DeBartolo is the owner.
Yeah.
DeBartolo is the owner. We'd have to take.
We do have internets right in front of us.
My freaking phone is upstairs like a dumbass.
My junk is charging. But here's the thing. We have a great chat, so I'm sure the answer will pop up. Carmen Policy. How dope is that of a name too? Like,
Oh, it's very Italian. It's actually Polizia. Because my mom is born in Sicily.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
the Bartolo, and then Polizia is, I don't know if it has something to do with like policy,
Well,
yeah.
that's that police policy. Ah, all right. So he
I don't know.
Carmen Policy. He's an attorney and American football exec, best known for his work in San Francisco. But what the hell did he do? He's
Yeah, like, what
80. He's
was
80 years
he?
old. I don't know. It
And
just says
him and DeBardo look good for the stress of having to run that franchise and keep it winning.
yeah.
Most of those cats croak out early. Like, nope, still here.
The
They
funny thing
technically
is, nobody in the chat knows, but we do know he was with
it
this
was
organization.
yeah,
Well,
because if you
I
yeah.
brought that up, Aaron, because I'm thinking maybe sometime in the future you get maybe he was the GM. Maybe he was the GM. I don't remember him being the GM, but maybe he was. Because you know what? Back then I didn't even know what the GM was. So maybe that's exactly what he was. And
Right.
that's why I can't put it to that he was the GM, because that's probably what he was. All right, cool.
You
Well,
should tell the chat, hey, go do some Google work for us.
they on it. They on it. They on it.
So all right. There's a lot of talk about the Niners offseason.
Yeah.
The way they approached it. Some people say that they're bargain bin shoppers. Some people say that they're depth filling. Before I get kind of to that, do you think the 49ers roster right now is better than it was?
So to me, I think the roster is better, even though it's still not as fulfilled. We lost a lot of players. What, over 20? We had 23 unrestricted free agents. Thank you, Peachy.
Thank you, Peachy.
Right, but we brought some of them back. We're currently at hold on, is it six? I always get the numbers 62, 63. We're at 63
right
contracted players right now, but just adding Javon Hargrave like made us that much better. Now, what did we lose? We lost Jimmy Ward, we lost Emmanuel Mosley, but we lost Emmanuel Mosley and our defense was still number one.
Yeah, we lost him fifth or sixth game in the last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is we brought Tashawn Gibson back.
Oh, which was another one of those off season, like, please, Linger, please. I had a couple of those with certain people. Steve-O says we're worse because we lost Jimmy. Come on now.
I get why people are saying that we got worse, but I don't understand how we got worse if we were winning without some of the guys that are gone.
Right.
All right. So Mike McGlinchey and Jimmy Ward will probably be the two pieces that we lost because they played substantially a lot last year, right? Jimmy in the slot, Mike McGlinchey at right tackle. So now who are their predecessors, right? It's Colton McKivitz, okay? And then it's probably the new free agent we signed, Isaiah Oliver, or it could be Samuel Womack III. We don't know. But Jimmy Ward struggled too at first, and he got better. So whoever we put in at the slot is going to struggle and probably get better. So I don't see how we got that much worse. And yes, we lost a lot of pieces, but the majority of them are depth pieces, right?
Right. They're bringing back 22 of 24 starters right now. So how essentially did we get worse when that's pretty much everybody,
Right.
And Jimmy Ward, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, like the guy that they brought in, he naturally played better in the slot, Isaiah Oliver. They drafted him as an outside corner. He struggled. They put him inside. He seemed to fare a lot better. He's a bigger slot corner too. I think he's around 6'1".
Yeah, he's big and 200 pounds too.
Yeah, that's a pretty good size for a slot, which for a slot you usually want, your 5'9" corner who's really small and quick because you're dealing with a lot of short area stuff. But I don't know. The Niners implement a big slot, so maybe other teams are going to start doing it and they're just trying to get ahead of the curve. Who knows?
I just don't see how we got that much worse. But if people feel like we've gotten worse, fine. Okay, no problem. But I look at the production. You guys are looking at the total amount of pressures that Ebukam and Charles Omenihu had. Those are the two key pieces we lost. okay, that's fair. And then if you add up the pressures that we replaced them with, well, think about what those pressures were when they were on other teams before they got here. So that's the conversation that I'm having. Like, all right, so what the hell did Samson Ebukam really do in Los Angeles? And what did Charles Omenihu do in Houston? Oh, I know nothing. That's why they traded him.
And here's I personally last year I thought the defensive line took a step down.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
As good, everyone's like, but our defense is number one. I understand that. But we had 35 less sacks than the best team in the league. Listen, that's 35. We had 44, 43, something like that. Bosa had 18 and a half of them.
Yeah.
That's not good production, man. The Eagles across that D line. It's funny. I was giving the Eagles a lot of props and the Cowboys, their defensive lines, because of how much pressure they put on. And a lot of people are like, Niners are better. Like they're not though.
I didn't think the defensive line was better, but the overall defense was better to me.
Yeah, the Niners' overall defense to me was the best in the league.
Agreed.
But I thought their defensive line was definitely slacking last year. I thought it was Bosa and everything, and Bosa got tired at the end of the season, man. He looked completely washed, like just done.
But you know why? There was no pressure up the middle.
Nothing. So there was nothing. There was no pressure coming up the middle ever. They would just funnel everything outside. That's the worst part of watching games, when it's like, exactly, okay, we're playing a running quarterback. I'll bet you $1 million they're going to rush. They're going to funnel everybody outside. He's going to step up. He's going to have 20. He's got 15 yards to run. Like, geez, dude, can we get one guy that can push the pocket into the quarterback's lap?
Listen, that's why I'm super excited that the 49ers decided to get one of the best pass rushing defensive tackles.
Yes.
One of the best. Top 3, top 2, top 4, definitely in the top 5. And so, look, this is good because now we're going to have pressure up the middle, which will alleviate some pressure off of Nick, which will allow the pressure on the other side, opposite Nick, to get one-on-ones. Like, this is what this is all about.
You're essentially going to have two guys that are going to command one-on-one situations, because I think Hargrave. How many sacks in
11?
Hargrave? He had 11 sacks for a defensive tackle
from the middle. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, and his specialty is to attack the quarterback. That's crazy.
Which is nothing wrong with that. if you can stop the run on the way to the quarterback, then you belong on this defensive line. To me, my only thing with the way things have gone, at least on the defensive side for agency, is I like the Clelin Ferrell. I like the kind of the underperforming, but he has a great motor. I just think he was overdrafted for where they slotted him when he was picked 4th. With all, I think I'm trying to remember who was still on the board in that draft when he got picked. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
That was the 2019 draft.
Yeah, wasn't because I know the Jaguars got Josh Allen, right?
Yeah, hold on, I'm about to check for you. While you talk, I'm gonna pull up the stuff while you talk.
And then what's his name was drafted by the Jets, Quinnen Williams. So it was like
Nick Bosa.
Yeah, and we got Nick Bosa, and that was the year that the Cardinals drafted little guy Murray.
There you go. All right, so it was Kyler Murray with 1, Nick Bosa, Quinnen Williams, Clelin Ferrell went 4. I'm just going to go to top 10. Devin White went 5th. Daniel Jones went 6th. And then Josh Allen, the defensive edge, went 7th. Hawkinson went 8th. Ed Oliver went 9th. And then Devin Bush went 10. So if I'm looking and I'm asking myself, 2 edge rushers, I'm just trying to see. Rashawn Gary went 12th. I'm just looking at the edge rushers. Don't mind me. And then Montez Sweat. I would say Sweat, Bosa are the top edge rushers in this class.
What year did what's his name come in? He's on the Jaguars or on the Panthers right now.
Brian Burns.
All
right, let me look his draft class up.
He's really good too. Everybody tries it.
He was.
Everyone's like, yeah, the Niners need to go. And I'm like, wow. Tell me how.
If there was any way we can trade for him.
Right. It's a dream in your sleep. That's where Brian Burns will play in your mind.
So I'm looking that up right now as we speak. He went 16th overall. And he was in the same damn draft class.
Right, that's what I thought. I thought he was in the same draft class, and he. Wow.
Okay, so Sweat, Burns, and Bosa are the top edge rushers from that class. I'm sorry.
Yep. And if you're the Raiders, where they drafted him, they should have swapped it. And that he just like I could not believe, because I used to buy all those like guides. You flick through the guides, especially when the Niners are gonna have a top draft, and you're always like, you're looking at all the players that they could get essentially. He wasn't extremely highly rated, and when they drafted him, I was very shocked. And in a way, he's going to have his chance to resurrect his career, especially if Bosa and Hargrave are both healthy. Somebody said that Hargrave had 67 pressures last year. That's insane.
67 by himself.
The signing of the guy, what's his name? Let me look.
Antonio Bryant.
Austin Bryant has had like 4 sacks in his career. Yeah. That's a little alarming to me.
Well, I think it comes down to like how these guys are utilized, right? I feel like the Cleveland Farrell draft pick, I just thought the Raiders just did not utilize him right. And he's not your sack edge rushing type of guy. He's more like the run, setting the edge, making sure the runners don't go anywhere. He has the speed to get the runner in the backfield type of defensive edge. If that he's the Samson Ebukam replacement.
I was just going to say that's where a lot of people were saying what Ebukam, he could play base defense.
Yeah.
Like you had him in on base downs.
Exactly. He's the Samson Ebukam replacement.
Okay.
That's what you're getting from him.
What do you make of the Niners? Because I had this discussion with Raj. I don't understand, like, if you're building all this depth, are you essentially just going to build depth and not like you see like my God, my brain is fried right now. Everybody wants the Niners to go get Yannick Ngakoue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or even I saw Grant say Floyd, who played for the Rams.
Floyd. Yep.
Or Justin Houston. I'm surprised the Niners haven't sniffed around at any of these guys. This is like one of the most loaded free agent. Are they waiting it out? Or are they?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it sounds like.
Would you? I would love. I mean, I know 49ers throwback says no Justin Houston. Why? He's old, but he gets like 10 sacks a year. I would totally be fine with that. Opposite of Bosa. Yes, everybody wants Yannick. He's younger. He's productive.
Correct. But he's also going to be the most expensive.
I like Grant, and I'm not trying to steal Grant's information. I'm just saying I like Grant's when he said someone like Floyd would be a good option. I agree. Yeah, well, he had double-digit sacks last year. So, I mean, or in his career, he averages, I think, double-digit sacks.
I have my eyes set on a guy that no one's talking about. And it's interesting because when he plays football, I mean, I feel like he's pretty productive. And if you look up the edge rusher, and they had a 3-4 defense, but if you look up the edge rusher 0-4-3, Marcus Golden.
Okay.
Now his production last year wasn't as strong, but their defense really was biting the bullet. Like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, 2.5 sacks last year, but I'm looking for a guy that can just give me some type of speed off the edge.
What team was Marcus Golden from?
He was on the Cardinals.
Okay.
He was drafted to Arizona. Then he went to, now he might be on his way out. He's a little older. He's not going to cost you much money. And this sounds like a 49er to me.
Right.
So 2015 is when he came into the league. 2016, he had 12.5 sacks. So that was the season that he just went all out. That was with Arizona. Then in 2019, he ended up going to the Giants. He had 10 sacks with the Giants his first year. Second year, 1.5. In 2021, 11 sacks. 2022, 2.5. But you total it all up, god dang it, it's 47 sacks.
That's not bad.
11 forced fumbles. Do you see?
Sounds like D Ford. D Ford used to like to knock the ball out on the swipe. Okay.
If he was gonna make the connection.
So like he's like a poor man's D Ford.
Bingo.
Minus the back problem.
Healthier poor man's D Ford.
Right. You know what? I haven't. His name is in my mind. I've seen him. He's played in front of me. I recognize the name, but I just haven't put 2 and 2 together. Yeah. that's another one. Yeah, that's another one.
No Border Sports says if he's not injury prone, the Niners don't want him.
Yeah, Ryan, you are so true. You are so right about that. Wait,
2017 was the one
you're
year
not coming off an ACL injury? Nah, I'm sorry. We have no place for you on this team. We need to be hampered by something so we can get the cheapest possible signing.
I think the Niners are looking a little bit different at how they're trying to approach this. They're going after specific players with specific skill sets or skill traits. And the one thing that the 49ers are missing is speed off the edge.
Yes.
All right. They're
missing. I don't think Bose is a speed rusher.
No, he's a tactician, man. He's just a guy that can beat you. Period.
Yeah.
Right.
He's got a lot of muscles too.
And strong moves,
strong like bull.
Arm strength, like that's him. But the opposite side, like to me, Samson Ebukam was strong. Just that, and that was it. That's why he didn't get too many sacks. That's why he was really good in stopping. Not Samson Ebukam. Yeah. That's why
what I told Raj. I was like, he would just play patty cake with the offensive tackle. Like, he ain't going nowhere. He's just
if he couldn't bull rush you and have the strength to get up under you, that wasn't his thing. But I tell you what, you wasn't running on him. If the running backs got to the outside, they weren't going anywhere.
The great thing I love when D4 was here for the 7 games that he played for this franchise.
He only played 7 games, bro.
No, that's just me being a jerk.
I feel like he only played 7 games though. Like literally.
It seems like it of value. So when he was pushing the pocket on the other side of Bosa and you had those two guys in the middle, that was just dumb. That was just dumb. That's why I'm like, when I saw the 2 depth pieces, I'm like, okay, those are good if, we sign this guy in free agency, or if they say, okay, we are looking at 2 guys in the draft that if we do this much in free agency and we lock up this much depth around the roster, here are 2 positions that we want to trade up for. Is it offensive tackle or is it edge rusher? Are they willing to make a move up into the back end of the second round or the bottom of the second? I mean, they got a lot of picks. I told Raj, I said, if they're doing all this depth stuff, do you have a feeling that they might trade into the second round or something? Maybe package a trade up. If they're specifically, depending on how they finish off free agency.
Oh, I see where you're going. And I
like if they're making all these moves in free agency to, fill out the roster, I feel like the more they do that, the more they might have their sights set on particular individuals, depending on where they are on their draft board. They're not going to just go and reach for an offensive tackle or reach for an edge. It would have to be someone within their cavalcade of players that they have on the board. To me, I would love to see one of those other edge rushers come on this team, because then it's like, okay, now all those other moves make sense, because you don't want to depend on a Clelin Ferrell. You don't want to depend on a Austin Bryant. You want them to play their role. And that's really, and when people were like, oh, we lost all these guys. And I'm like, yeah, but what did they really do last year? I mean, what did they do? Like, what happened? Like, nobody got any sacks except for Bosa.
Well, between Sosa or Ebukam and Aminohu, what was it, 9.5 sacks? I believe that's what they got you, right? So that's 9.5, and then the rest came from I don't remember Drake Jackson getting a sack. I would have to look that up. I
think he had 3.
He had 3 sacks. Okay,
I think he started kind of hot, and then of course he pooped out at the end, and Kyle was not too happy about that.
I mean, it's a young kid that was coming straight out of college. Usually they poop out at the end. Usually rookies poop out. But listen, he's going to be just fine. But my point is this, and I like that you brought that up. Yeah, they could be looking to package something together and move up into late round 2, early to middle round 3. It all depends on what they're willing to give up. And so, is there a player out there? There's some game-changing players that I think that the 49ers could move up to get. If they're looking for a guy that has speed out there, maybe a Byron Young. If they're looking for a 4 guy on the edge, a defensive end that has speed as 4-4. Oh my gosh. Because that's what they're missing. That's they're missing speed on the edge from the defense. And I hate to say it, I love our running backs, but they're missing speed in the running back situation as well. Can you imagine adding the speed element back to the running back room?
That would be very, very unfair for the rest of the league.
That's the only thing they're missing, bro. Like imagine, because it'll throw the defense off so much when you have a Mostert type speed guy, and they're faster kids coming out of this draft class.
As long as you're not depending on that guy to be your every down guy.
The 49ers,
you can't 25 carry a guy like Mostert. He's like a fragile, really expensive car.
Right.
Take him out when the weather's nice.
There's reasons why he was fragile. There's reasons why certain linebackers, running backs, get drafted late or go undrafted. Pay attention to that. There are reasons. They show up, they show out, but there's a reason why they go 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. It's not even the 8th round, but you know what I'm trying to say. Undrafted.
Yeah, they go because there's something lacking in their ability to really just
stay healthy
on the field, because they can't take a punishment.
That's it. And so,
or the punishment, not a punishment.
I feel like
Elijah Mitchell.
Since we're talking about the running backs, I feel like that Kyle Shanahan and Bobby Turner, like there's no such thing as a bell cow for the 49ers.
No,
everybody was complaining that Christian McCaffrey was being overworked last year, and okay, you're probably right, but if he wasn't overworked, guess where we wouldn't end up? In the NFC Championship. And unfortunately, there was nobody to spell him to his level, because your other starting running back, Elijah Mitchell, couldn't find a way to stay healthy. And so I'm hoping you get a healthy Elijah Mitchell back. Congratulations on his I think he got married recently or something. But you get a healthy Elijah Mitchell back. I think your only thing you're missing is the speed element. So if you bring in a speedier back, oh my gosh! You don't.
Where are you going with that? Are you going undrafted again? Are you going late round?
It all depends who fall. Everybody,
right,
like
you said, the board. It's all about the board, right? The board dictates.
Yeah.
Especially when you're the Niners the way they are right now, you necessarily don't need a draft for need. It's different when you suck and you have no talent. Then it's like okay, we're getting our edge rusher here. Oh, we're getting our right tackle here. Like it's different. What was I going to say? The thing here with Elijah Mitchell is this has to be his last hoorah. If he can't stay healthy this year, I think it's time to move on, just because I love when he plays, bro. He doesn't play. He's hurt all the time. He'll have 3 really incredible games. He'll look like the second coming. And then all of a sudden, oh yeah, he's got this knee issue and he's done. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
When? Like,
last season was an anomaly, right? He gets hit in the knee. He comes back from that.
That was a pretty nasty shot, by the way, too.
It was a helmet to the knee.
It was bad.
And then he gets hit in the other knee later. Like, they just were going after his knees. I don't know if he needs to change the way he runs or protects himself or what. But for some reason, like those knees, once one went out, you probably overcompensate on the other one, and then it weakens the other one, and the other went out. And it's so unfortunate, right? Because, John and I were talking earlier today. I was like, damn, John, I know this is hindsight, but we mismanaged the heck out of the injured reserve list, right? Right? We mismanaged it, because
sure did.
If we would have just let Elijah Mitchell off and brought Hassan Ridgeway back, then the Niners might not have gotten pushed up and down the field with the run game of the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's a tough game, though. I think either way, I don't think they would have won that game. I
didn't say they wouldn't have won it.
But but you're right. You would at least had the chance to see if there was going to be a difference. You know what I mean?
I will say this, and tell me if you agree or disagree. Do you remember the Super Bowl between the Patriots and the Rams?
Yes.
Okay. That was the most boring Super Bowl, according to every football fan out there, except for me, because I just thought it was a defensive battle. I was like, whatever team with the best defense, it was all field goals. There were no touchdowns, right? That 49er Eagles game would have probably been something similar to that if the 49ers defensive front was more intact.
Yeah, because their DBs were playing nice in that game.
They were playing good. They were getting out on 3 and outs at some point, and then it just got to a point where they said, hey, we're just going to run the ball down the throat. Now, the key to their offense was Jalen Hurts. He made the 49ers defense play honest. and 11-on-11 football. So you couldn't cheat. You couldn't put more people in the box, right? That's why Kyle Shanahan, I know we're doing a full circle. This is why we have Trey Lance. And I know a lot of people are like, well, Trey Lance is not a running quarterback. He's not a rusher. No, he's not. But he can run.
He can move. He can scramble.
Okay. So you let the pocket break down and it's him. Let me ask you this. Trey Lance versus a linebacker, he will outrun the linebacker. That he can do. That's 11-on-11 football. That's what you want. If a linebacker chooses to spy Trey, you better not spy with a linebacker, because if he sees that, he's taking off. It's the right move. And so having a quarterback that can move is what allows defenses or makes defenses and forces them to play honest football. We call it 11-on-11. And so one person per man. Who's covering Trey then? But when you don't have a quarterback like that, and I'm going to use Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy, because a lot of us liked Brock. I thought I loved him, but there were times he struggled. He struggled when they started putting more people in the box, because they knew that he wasn't going to just take off and run every single time. Tom and Jimmy Garoppolo, they absolutely knew he wasn't going to run. But Jimmy even tried to change the game. That's how he got hurt.
Yeah, Jimmy had cement feet after that injury, man. Oh my Lord. He went from like being able to move a little bit and be kind of little of a magician back there during that little stretch in 2017.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that little sidearm throw against the Jaguars, who were they were doing their t-shirt. They were playing them in their t-shirt hat game, and the Niners freaking smoked them. And then he got hurt, and it was like he just completely lost all bravery in the pocket. Like if somebody was around him, it was panic time. He would pat the ball, pat the ball, pat the ball, pat the ball, pat the ball. It's just like, geez, bro. That's the one thing about Purdy. He might be small and his arm might be weak, but man, he gets out of there quick. Well, except for when he got crushed by
a couple times. Got crushed a couple times.
Yeah, that's the one thing. He's a little guy, dude. Like he can't absorb that. Just is not. Again, you're right. Why people get drafted late? Can they take the punishment when they're that small?
But his physical attributes, right? You're like, damn, Brock Purdy looked this good. Yeah, wait till he gets hit.
Yeah, wait till he takes a shot on the chin a couple times at how small he is. I mean, the size matters to an extent, but when it comes to getting whacked,
yeah. I mean, especially when you can, what's the word? And like brace it. Like, how sometimes you can brace the hit so you can kind of protect yourself. Remember the first game he actually started the game after the Dolphins game. I forgot.
Yeah, that was an unprotected blitz.
Yeah,
it was him. He audibled out of it and he got rocked.
And it messed up his what's the shit in our side? Obliques.
Yeah, and then he was hurt. Yep.
See, it's little things. It's the little things.
How do you think about that? Yeah, that's right. Because then he was hurt against Seattle, and
it's the little things. And then the Raiders game, we struggled like yo, why we can't blow out the Raiders?
Right.
Like, why is Jarrett Stidham? And that was mainly on the defense, because the offense
played really bad in that. They got. I think the one thing, and everyone's like, well, the Niners took them lightly. Still, though, man, like, whew, that definitely made you question if this team could even like when they played so well early on in the NFC Championship game with that defense. I was shocked because I saw the Raiders game and I'm like, I think we got exposed this year. I don't think we're as good as we are. And then the beginning of the Eagles game happened, and I was like, maybe I'm wrong.
They were on point. They
looked really good early in that game. His numbers for that game, Jalen Hurts, they were trash.
Not especially throwing. Yeah, throwing.
Throwing was horrible.
Absolutely. But Jalen made the 49ers defense play honest. That's my point.
Yeah.
They were like, haha, since it's 11-on-11, I'm just gonna outrun this guy to the side because they can't beat me. That's the difference. That was the difference. And because of that, we couldn't load up the box and take away the run like we normally do. Right? We couldn't play the way we normally play.
And that's why you want a quarterback like Trey Lance.
And that's why you need a quarterback like Trey Lance. I'm not saying Trey Lance can do what Jalen Hurts does. That's not what I'm saying.
He just brings that extra element that the defense always has to account for, that always essentially gives you, I guess, man across like the board. Like you're always
who's manning up on Trey?
Not a lot of people.
And Trey's bigger than most safeties and stuff. I mean,
nobody on that Niners offense you want to go against him if you're man to man.
There it is.
Because they're all really physical.
And the key to football, Trey wants you to play in man to man, because now
He got the arm.
He can get the ball down to down. There you go, bro.
That's why I like Danny Gray, man. I'm just like,
there you go.
That's the one thing the 49ers offense doesn't have that I think that would take them to the next level is they've had a guy that actually could take it over the top. Because then you got everybody running underneath. Because now you got to account for that mess all the time. And then you have all these yak monsters. It's That's why, like, as much as I love, like I said, I love Purdy. It would be fun to see what this offense would be like with a Ferrari at quarterback and not a Volkswagen.
I don't think Purdy's a Volkswagen. He's more like a. If Trey Lance is a Ferrari, then I would say Purdy is probably like in that Lexus Beamer type of like the sporty Beamer, like the like the.
You're not beating anybody. You're not beating anybody in a street race, but it does look pretty nice.
And he'll get the goddamn job done really well.
Right.
That's Purdy.
Let's talk the kicker situation. We don't have one.
No. How crazy is that?
What are we doing here? Like, are the Niners playing a game of chicken here with Robbie Gould that eventually he's going to sign back?
Haven't heard that game in a long time, but yeah, that's what it looks like. Look, here's the situation with the 49ers. They have a number. This is the number that they're going to pay a kicker, period. Doesn't matter what your name is. Your name could be Gary Anderson for all I care. We're going to spend this amount of money on a kicker. So the 49ers are prepared. They want Robbie Gould, but they don't want to spend more than probably what their number is. And I would say that their number is no more than that $4 million a year. $4 million.
I can't see you paying any more than $4 million for a kicker.
Yeah, I mean, there's teams doing it, and that's the issue, right? So there's teams out there paying kickers more than that.
The Niners do a lot of stuff that's unconventional as far as who they pay, the positions. I always hear that from Brian Peacock. Like they have a lot of non-traditional. They have a lot of high contracts for a lot of non-traditional positions, like fullback, and among other positions too. It's like, and I think kicker's definitely not on that list. I know that Panera just signed, so he's off the book. I know there's a kicker, Suck Up from the Bucks.
I don't want him.
Yeah, I heard he's got a little bit. He can't do kickoffs, so this pretty much takes him out of.
I mean, at this point, you draft a kicker, right?
Right.
Or you wait, or you play the board. Do the kickers
would you be willing to go for a guy like the Moody guy everybody talks about?
That's the kicker. That's it. That's the guy you want.
How long are you waiting before you pull the plug on that? Fourth round?
If the kickers don't get pulled off the board, the 49ers have 4 7th round picks. So if he's there in the 7th round,
I don't think he's going to be.
I just don't see anybody else drafting. There's only one other team that need a kicker, bro.
Who, the Cowboys?
No, the fucking Rams.
And they would do something like that.
And guess they draft right before us too, right?
Like, God dang it, we got to go pay that guy that you guys, the Bucks, got rid of.
The Rams will do it. The Rams.
Of course, yeah. The Rams will be ramming. Rams don't got no talent this year, man.
Zero.
But I still think they're gonna be in it for a while. I have a feeling. We do this every year. Niners got this, man. And then for some reason, somebody plays well. I think Seattle is on the comeuppets. I hope they don't get a quarterback.
The comeuppets. That's pretty cool.
They have. I know they showed that picture of them with one of the quarterbacks. I forget who it was. And you had Coach Carroll smiling like the cat who ate the canary. Oh damn it!
Let me just explain something to people. As long as Pete Carroll is coaching the Seahawks, they're always going to be a thorn in our side.
Yes, I can't stand that dude, but I think Seattle is going to legitimately be a team to worry about next year.
I'm with you,
and I won't sleep on the Rams until I kind of see them. I would say maybe the first 3 or 4 weeks.
Here's why I'm worried about Seattle, and I'm glad you brought that up. This is how smart you are. All right, hold on. Let me get Seattle's draft picks.
Oh, they got some.
You know where I'm going with this.
And they already got 2 good corners from last year's draft.
You know where so guess what they're not drafting?
Corners.
Okay. And guess what? So are you familiar of Will Anderson from Alabama?
I am not.
Okay.
Enlighten me.
He's probably the number one I don't know if you want to call him a linebacker, outside linebacker, edge rusher. I don't know. He's going to be the first one off the board. They pick 5th. They pick 20th in the first round. Okay, this is for the Russell Wilson stuff, guys. So they get the 5th pick from Denver, and then their original pick is going to be 20th. So they got 2 first-round picks. I guarantee you, the way that the draft is going to fall is the simple fact that there's going to be 3 to 4 quarterbacks gone, bang, and there's going to be this guy named Will Anderson Jr. sitting right there, falling into their lap, and I'm like, damn, like they just, how lucky.
They got very
and then there's gonna be a problem because now you got to figure out how to block this mother sucker.
Yeah,
he's not exactly a Nick Bosa, but he's definitely a problem. And I'm sorry, I don't know about you. I just don't want any other team having problem players.
Yeah, why can't we be the like? Why can't we be good for like a good stretch of time where everybody else isn't good? Come on now. Bingo. Let's be the Patriots for like 10, 12 years where they won the division by late October. Like, oh, we're done. See ya. 6-0. Woo!
So he's an outside linebacker, edge rusher, and he's going to be the first to go off the board unless Seattle does some not dumb, but they address their offensive line. That'll be the only way that he won't be the first off the board.
Well, hopefully they address their offensive line.
Yeah, and then they'll get like Paris Johnson or one of those guys first. It's gonna be interesting. The draft is gonna be fun, even though we don't pick to the second day.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for me because I usually get really excited for the draft. For this draft, I gotta not watch. I'll watch the first day, but it'll be in like the background.
Yeah.
You were man. I saw you last year. That was so awesome.
Oh man, that was.
And
so
my brother, I'm like, I know that guy. He's like, who is it? I'm like, that's Wayne Breezy. Wayne who? I was like, Wayne Breezy. I've had him on my channel before. The dude that remind, because my brother knows that Jeff guy too that I said you remind me of. I was like, hey, reminds me of Jeff. He's just got the same kind of personality and stuff. And like, he's right there in the freaking front row doing a selfie. I was like, what the heck?
That was cool. That was
freaking awesome. Did you know that you were going to be on television, or was that just like a freak thing?
Nah, man, I was just there being me, and I was just yelling and screaming and cheering, and I, you know how I am. I'm just super excited, and
yeah, you were. Yes,
I didn't even know. Did somebody text me? I didn't know.
I saw you, and then I think I might have messaged like Bash or a couple other people.
Yeah, like somebody tweeted it to me. Yo,
I said something like, "Did I just see Wayne Breezy on the because he did a commercial and everybody enjoying themselves, and it was like you were right there, right in the freaking front."
Oh man, how cool!
That was awesome.
Unfortunately, I probably won't be there this year because I'm not going out there to get on camera for 3rd round selections. I'm just not.
Unless
now, just because I'm not there, Aaron,
they'll end
up moving up to the 1st round and getting a 1st round pick on Thursday, and I'll be like, God dang it!
And the Niners select that guy we were just talking about. They go all the way to the top 10. They would have to give up a lot to ever get up there.
Yeah, they would have to give up stuff from next year, and the Niners just aren't going to do that.
Nah, the Niners have a formula. They do that. Let me ask you, and this is not one of my topics, but it's compensatory thing. They got it like a game now.
It's a science, bro.
They have a science. And I find I get weird sometimes. People are like, oh, no, we hire minority candidates and then we get the pick. I'm like, that's kind of dirty. I hate hearing that.
Yeah, it's a science.
But I feel like the Niners do stuff. There's always a purpose. I feel like, and a lot of people like the Niners, they haven't done much in free agency besides Hargrave. The Niners have a way they build their roster that makes it long sustaining, which is you have about 6 to 8 to 10 bangers on your team that are your top guys. And then essentially you just rinse and repeat and replace all your B-level players over time.
You just said it.
And you do it the same way every time.
You just said it. It's rinse and repeat. That's it.
And that's the only, eventually, somebody asked on Twitter today, would you rather the Niners have a top flight quarterback and an okay team? Or would you rather the Niners have a really strong roster and a average quarterback?
Yeah.
I'm torn.
Really?
For the now, if somebody says if we can get a Super Bowl next year, I'd be like, okay, I'll take the average roster and the great quarterback. But if you want me to be cheering every single season for 20 seasons, 18, 15, however long this regime lasts until people start retiring and stuff, then I would take the latter, which is give me a competitive team that's in it every single season that has an opportunity.
Yeah, that's me.
I'm kind of the same way too. The only reason I get it because I haven't seen a Super Bowl champion in
1994, bro.
I was my freshman year in high school.
Mine too. I think we're the same age. Mine too.
I turned 43 back in December.
Okay, so I just turned 42. So you got me by 1 year.
Yeah, you came in the year after, and no, I did not bully the people because most of the guys that came in that next year were bigger than me. I was like, I'm 6'3", but like all the guys are like 6'5", 6'7". I'm like, dang man, what happened? Like I'm supposed to bully these guys, and they're throwing me around. So, yeah, that's the one thing about the way the Niners do stuff. People call it bargain shopping. You can't have an all-star at every position. The Rams showed you what happens if you pay all the top guys. Now you essentially have to reset your roster again.
Indeed,
they're in dire straits. I'm not saying that they won't be good, but it might be a year or 3 before they're. I mean, they really don't have anything except for a quarterback who's got a bad back.
Yeah, and I think they're probably trying to move off. He might retire. We don't know what Matthew.
Or as Bash likes to do it's spinal. Mike Tyson. It's spinal.
It's spinal. I like that. That's funny.
Love you, Bash.
But here's the thing, man. When I'm sitting here to go back to that question that you just brought up, for me, give me the talented team.
Yeah.
Because the talented team can make an average quarterback above average.
Yes. You insulate him, and then all of a sudden he doesn't have to carry the. Because if you watch teams like Josh Allen, if Josh Allen ain't Josh Allen, the Bills don't win.
There it is.
They don't win.
There it is.
If Mahomes isn't in Kansas City, they're still a pretty good team, but they ain't Super Bowl champions. That cat is.
I mean, those are upper echelon.
He's the best quarterback that we've seen in a while.
Agreed.
I can't stand with that. They kick the Niners' butt every time they play him, but he's really like. You can't hate on greatness, dude. My nephew because my nephew's a LeBron guy and I'm a Jordan guy. Because I used to my nephew. Can we agree on one thing? They're both really fantastic, talented.
Agreed.
Hey, and we're never going to agree on this. You're going to scream at me and tell me that
it's okay.
This, Jordan's that, and the other. And when Jordan play against plumbers and this and that, that's his argument. I love my nephew. There's things we can't talk about because it turns into like a 3-hour yell fest.
I can feel it. I can feel it.
Yeah, because I'm old and I'm an old. He's like, you're an old head. You don't want to let go of nothing and admit that things could be better now. I'm like, you didn't live through it. And he's you don't watch NBA now. I'm like, fair enough.
To say that Jordan played against plumbers, I mean, they might be plumbers now. They were NBA players then. And I get it that the skill set is a lot different, but that's because they changed the game so that you young bucks.
I always tell him, I said, Jordan is like Muhammad Ali. Jordan is Babe Ruth. He's a legend. He was feared. LeBron is respected. Jordan was feared. And he was like, well, yeah, and then he starts bringing out the Rolodex of stats about that 80s when he went against the Celtics. He's like, how come you didn't do this, that? And I'm like, we're done. Because it's just a scream fest.
I get it, yo.
He's 27. He's a young cat. He's young.
Yeah, but I mean, and LeBron couldn't only
PG Brown said it too. The rules have changed. It was a way more physical game back then.
Yeah, like
you got guys doing Euro steps and all this other stuff on the court.
Got 7-1 centers Euro stepping through the paint. I'm like, what?
I saw a guy. They were showing a highlight. I don't know if it was college or NBA. This dude, he kept changing his pivot foot. Like he's traveling, dude. Come on. If that would have been me and my stiff behind, it would have been like whistle, whistle, whistle.
He was doing his Lane Johnson impression of the false start, but at the end of the day, he's tricking.
Oh, go ahead. The guy from the broadcast kept saying it's not really a false start, though. It's just no, it's a false start, dude.
It's a false start. They're just not seeing it. Listen, if he mastered his start to the point to where it tricks the officials. So
I don't know how he does it though, because it's so obvious.
I know.
You should have one. Don't they have a ref on the line, right? That watches that trash. How are you missing this?
Because he's blind, baby.
He literally goes like this before the play. My brother was like, he's moving.
It's so stupid.
Sorry, we're this like today at the show. I didn't have I don't have a ton of topics. I'm glad it went the way that it did with the kind of everywhere stuff because that's kind of how my brain works. I guess one of the last things I'll ask you is what's your take on the whole Ayuk situation? Everybody's making a lot of noise about this, social media and making comments about, he's the fourth option and a run first offense.
Listen, man, I don't really see anything wrong with the take, right?
I don't have anything wrong with it either. He's completely 100% right.
Yeah, I mean, he's a 1,000-yard receiver as the fourth option. So to me, I'm optimistic. I think you know that by now. So here's the thing.
Completely.
I'm the fourth option.
Effervescent.
And there it is. I'm the fourth option and a run first offense, right? So when you think about your options, I'm like, damn, he just bigged up George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, and Christian McCaffrey all in the same tweet. But nobody took that as a big up but me or you, right? That's what he did. And I still was able to show you, the world, that I'm the guy. And I'm sorry, I like wide receivers talking trash. It's how I grew up.
I like egos from the light opposite. Jerry Rice had an ego.
But the thing is, there was no social media.
No.
And they didn't see it. Jerry Rice used to talk trash. Jerry Rice didn't even shake Deion Sanders' hand.
Nope. Well, what's his name from the Cowboys back in the day? Number 24, I forget his name. He used to
Larry Brown.
He's called Jerry Rice crybaby.
Gee.
And then he would say real number 80 over here, and he was pointing to Alvin Harper.
Alvin Harper.
Get out of here, dude. Whatever.
There were some bad boys, man.
They were real bad. That was a good-ass Dallas team. I have not going to front. See how my brain just shoots? I'm sorry, I have ADD. But you're right.
So I got you.
I love Ayuk as a player. I just don't know if they're going to pay him down the road.
I think the way that the 49ers are set up, that they can pay him. So when I look at the contracts, I'm saying, all right, Ayuk's contract typically will probably come in as Deebo Samuel's contract is going out. So the question is, do they move on from Deebo, draft another and have another guy develop, move on from Deebo, and then do the Ayuk 3-year deal? And so it's just you talked about rinse and repeat. It's just kind of like how these players aren't staying with teams for multiple years anymore. It's just not how it works. Wide receivers want to get their money. Running backs want to get their, it's unfortunate for running backs, but wide receivers and that's probably that one prime position where they're going to go where the money is. I'm not mad at them for that.
No, and I think the Niners, the way they construct their roster, I mean, there's some aging out that is starting to happen.
Good point.
One of the reasons I hope the Niners don't move around a lot in the draft, and that's why I would wish that they would address, say, like an edge guy in free agency, is they need it. I mean, this is a great draft for tight ends.
Ooh, yes, it is.
You got to think to the future. You have to think 2 years down the road. George Kittle plays a physical brand of football. The Niners in general play a physical brand of football.
Indeed.
Investing into your tight end room, you might eventually move on from Kittle, which would allow you to pay a guy like Ayuk. And I know people are like, oh, you can't do that. Yes, you can. You just got to make sure that you hit on the guy. Like if they hit it in the tight end this year and he's a productive guy and he's not just a blocker, I'm as much as I hate to say this, I'd be okay eventually within 2 seasons. At the end of maybe they say, hey George, it's been a great run, but we're going to let you go. Get someone on the open market. Where the future is Ayuk, the future is whatever, because they got a lot of guys that are all like. They're all like they play so physical, and it's like, when is the next? What could the next snap be their last? These guys run into other players like you can avoid and go out of bounds, right? No, that's not how the 49ers play. So I always looked ahead to say that eventually you need to do that, but that's just me.
But that's how they draft. So there are several tight ends in this draft upcoming. There was 2 years ago, the 49ers, I thought they would address the tight ends, and they didn't. But this might be the draft. This might be the draft where the tight ends are stacked, and the 49ers, they're not trying to replace Kittle. What they're trying to do is, like revive and replenish Kittle, right? So if they can get another blocking, pass-catching type of a tight end, this is great news for the 49ers because it gives Kittle more life, which where you can use the rookie a little bit more and ease in the rookie, as a rookie. So, look, this is what they do. Wide receivers, to me, if you look at the typical length of a wide receiver contract, it's a 3-year deal for mad bread. And they're going to go with whatever the team is going to pay him the most. so that they can get the most guaranteed money. That's why receivers. The worst position are running backs. Unfortunately,
there's to me running backs is not a position that you put a lot of money into.
You can't anymore.
It's just dumb, and I feel bad for those guys. Like look at Zeke. Look what happened with Zeke.
They paid him though.
That dude got his money, but he's washed.
Yeah, he's done.
He's done. I have never received a $30 super chat in my life on YouTube.
Hey.
So I'm ever appreciative. Jashawn Page, I've never seen you in here before, but I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm not one of those people like if it happens, great. If it doesn't, like whatever. But I appreciate it. He says, "What's up, Niner Gang? Don't sleep on Austin Bryant because he can contain the pocket." Listen, we talked about it earlier. My thing with Bryant is as long as he's in here for the job of being a depth guy and has a role, I think that's where I'm okay with him. If we're using him for anything other than that, and people in the Niners building have him in some other role where they think he's going to be like the future edge or he's going to be something more than he's not, that's where I kind of like, he is a role player.
Yeah.
He's had 4 sacks since he's been in the league. So I hate to say it. But yeah, I'm fine with him. He's quick. His get off is nasty, but we'll see, man. We got months before the season starts.
Yeah, right now I'm entertaining the draft, and I can't wait to see the pieces that they bring in, because for the first time, I would say pay attention to the guys that they're interviewing. Pay attention to the guys that are getting those second interviews.
When I see interviews, I think that they're smoke screening.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Someone's like, "Oh, the Niners are interviewing all the tight ends this year," and I told somebody, "So watch them not draft one."
Right.
Because they do stuff like that. I've gotten a feel for this 49ers front office, man. They're good.
You're right.
They're good. Real quick, and then we'll get out of here. Your thoughts on Javon Kinlaw? Do you think his end is near, or do you think he'll play this year as like a backup and then he's gone?
Yeah, I'm going with the backup role, and then we'll take it from there. If he's productive. Wait, first of all, if he's healthy and if he's productive.
Like they were showing him doing all that. I hate when guys post videos like that. Like, dude, what are you doing? Why? I mean, what are you squatting at?
He's out there working. I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't know.
He's got a great body. I'm not hating. Dude's a physical specimen, but none of that shit does anything for me. Just show up on the field on Sunday, dude. I don't care. Like, I don't get impressed with off-season workouts, especially when you're not going against like other people, or you're thrown against air, or there's no pass. Like, it's cool, and I'm glad that you're working out and you take your craft seriously, but just stay healthy and play on Sunday. That's all I worry about. But
that's it.
And then I'll just say this: the Niners had a bunch of hirings today. If you guys didn't pay attention, they made them official. Steve Wilkes as the defense coordinator, offensive passing game specialist Clint Kubiak, defensive quality control Jacob Webster, and coaching operations assistant Max Moles. I have no idea what coaching operations assistant is. There's a couple of these are pretty much. The quality control are usually the guys that, like you say, they do the cut-ups, they do all that stuff.
Yeah.
The coach wants this against this particular defense. I want to see all the looks against cover 3, blah, 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 blah. And then that guy goes and gets it, and then they have the meeting, and that's what they do. And that's how most coaches usually start that way. So, but hey, Wayne, thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, man, thanks for having me.
I would like to do stuff as things get into more of this, as we get closer to the, as training camp hits and all that other stuff. I know everybody's got schedules and are busy. I would love to do something on the reg, especially with someone like you.
Yeah.
I got Raj on Wednesdays. I have Ted Talks Ball with Ted Hazelrig, and then I have the Monday crew.
Yeah.
If I could round out and have something on Friday, that'd be sweet. Like I said, I know you can't do it all the time, but I would definitely like to do something more regular than every 9 months.
Let's work on that. We'll work on that behind the scenes, guys. We're gonna bring you some content, baby.
I appreciate it. Hey, everybody in the chat, thanks a lot. I'm gonna be having some lasagna in about 20 minutes, so I'm happy that I don't need the wait, but I'm gonna eat it anyways. Thank you very much, Peachy. Thanks for coming through and supporting your guy and myself. I appreciate it. David McNiner, Charles, Steve-O Supremo, all you guys. Much love. Talk to you guys later.